Morning YouTube, how are you all doing? I'm coming back again with some more bass and blending tobacco reviews that I've been doing. I did pinning Down Cavendish a couple of weeks ago, and up today is Burley, hence the name of the video, Burley with or without smoke. Just a little background really of what Burley is to start off with. Burley was originally credited to Mr. Webb back in 1864, who grew it in Ohio. It cured slightly differently. The tobacco doesn't really carry much residual sugar, so you get a bit more nicotine in there. It burns quite cool. It's very, very smooth, and it's got a little bit more power to it over its Virginia counterpart. This tobacco is used in absolutely everything. Well, I'm not too sure if it's used in snuff. The leaves are quite big, so I can imagine it could be used in snuffs, but I'm not too sure, so don't quote me on that one. The same goes with everything I say in this video. This is all down to my knowledge from what I've picked up from reading and speaking to people. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, please correct me, because knowledge is power and all that. So what I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be smoking some Burley blend. So this is produced by Gawith, Hoggarth, an egg-cured Burley mixture. Fairly consistent, very, very fine. It's kind of the original shag cut. I'll do another video later on the different grades of shag cut. I say it's predominantly a lovely sort of nutty brown kind of colour. There is some slightly darker tones and some slightly lighter tones in there. As with most tobaccos from Gawith, very, very well refined, no chunks of stem or anything like that in there. It smells as it should do. It's got that slightly almost chocolatey sort of aroma to it. Not like a case chocolate, but a kind of hint of chocolate. It doesn't have that fresh smell you get from Virginia. So I'm going to kick off with this tobacco to start off with. I'll be coming back later with some Fire-Cut Kentucky. I'm not going to smoke these in a clay. This pipe I've had for probably about 4 or 5 years. I've smoked it once or twice. I've had a smell and a quick sup through it. This is a quick dry draw through it this morning. It doesn't have any lingering flavours or anything like that. To be honest, I think I may have only smoked a couple of light Virginia blends through it. But no, it's a budget Italian pipe. The reason I don't really smoke it is the grain's not that interesting, and it's a pipe that's been varnished, so it's got blisters on it already. But like I say, it's a cheap £10 pipe, so can't really complain. So I've half filled the bowl with some Burley. Very, very distinctive taste. Almost cigarette-y. Burley's a common ingredient in a lot of rolling tobaccos, and that comes across in the taste. It's got that lingering chocolatey sort of taste to it. Got some ump to it. I can feel the nicotine already. It's very smooth. It's a cool smoke. The flavour mainly reminds me of cigarette tobaccos. It's not a very inspiring taste on its own. It does kind of have a reminds me almost a little bit cigar-like of a light cigar, or a Dutch cigar. Got that kind of dry kind of sweetness. Not sweet like a Virginia sweet or anything like that, but there's a subtle kind of creamy sweetness lingering to it. Slightly not quite woody, it's hard to explain. It just reminds me of the rolling tobacco I used to quite enjoy, Crossroads. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with this and come back again later. I'll let you know how the rest of it smokes. It doesn't burn particularly well on its own. But yeah, like I say, I'll be back again soon. I'm going to smoke this bowl, probably have another one afterwards. I may come back and smoke it neat in a roll up, so I can do a comparison between the two. But very, very plain, very, very bland. But a great base. We've got a firm like footing. You can build, obviously Burley use a lot in mixtures, you can build a lot of layers of complexity on top of this with little bits of spices, basically, a bit of oriental, a bit of Latakia, give it a little bit more sweetness with some Virginia, or give it a nice nutty taste with some dark Virginias. It's a base tobacco, so yeah, like I say, I'll have a review of this, I might come back again in a moment, but I'll be back very soon. Right, so I'm back. I finished smoking the Burley, finished smoking that bowl of Burley. It gets quite interesting. Like I say, it's not very powerful, it's not a very prominent taste, it's quite a subtle, so it makes good foundations. Originally I said that the burning was an issue. Later on, excuse me, once you get it going, it's not, to be honest. I set the pipe down for 4 or 5 minutes, picked it back up, kept smoking just as good as when I put it down. I did notice that the wall of the pipe gets quite hot, but this is a pretty cheap quality pipe. Still hasn't fully been broken in, so it's probably down to me. No new spots of blistering on it yet, still the initial ones from before. But no, now so I'm going to give it a try and a roll up. Towards the end of smoking it in the pipe, it did get a lot like a Connecticut wrapper cigar. Before that, it kind of had a Dutch cigar sort of flavour, so it's kind of some. It's hard to say really. It came across a lot like a Dutch cigar. I mean, the curing method is very similar. Hung up in barns with a flow of air for a while, let them ferment. Notes of leather, cream, and some slightly sweeter sort of spices, cedary wood sort of flavours, but very, very, very at the back of the palate. So now I'm smoking some Burley. Like I say, it's the old shag cut, so it rolls quite easily, burns quite easily. Not that anybody would ever endorse the rolling of shag cut tobaccos. Shouldn't be done. It's naughty. Evading tax and all that. Used a lot in English, American. To be honest, I know the Dutch use a lot of Burley. I think everybody uses Burley in cigarettes. Doesn't burn too well on its own in a roll up. It's quite a slow burning tobacco, so it could make for quite a long smoke. I'm smoking this in a medium weight paper, and I am using a filter. I've got a bit of a chesty cough at the moment. On the subject of filters, I never actually uploaded my video response to SA 7A87. Use of filters in cigarettes. There is a lot can be said about using a filter in a cigarette. It makes the smoke very, very light, very, very smooth. The only thing is, you do end up now smoking it like a cigarette, not like a small cigar. You take filters off, smoke tipless cigarettes. You don't have to inhale as big and deep. You don't have to take the smoke down as far. And you can quite easily smoke it like a small little cigar. But with a filter on, you have to draw a lot harder to get the smoke through the filter. therefore you take the smoke down a lot deeper. But so back to the purpose of this video. Burley in a cigarette doesn't really get the opportunity to develop. I mean, I'm what, a third of the way through this now. A very slow smoker for me. I tend to go for a lot of Gold Virginias, a little bit of Turkish in there as well. Occasionally a little bit of Perique if I want a bit of flavour, but it's still a little. It's strong. I'll give it that. You can taste Burley in, I say, almost all cigarettes, all rolling tobaccos. It's got the very, very dry taste that you get with cigarettes. That very dry. That's the only description I can think of it, really. It's a very dry taste. There's some subtle notes of. There is some little bit of creaminess to it. There is a little bit of woods and a little bit of leather there, but it smokes a lot better in a pipe than it does in a bit of paper. But I say, it's such a familiar taste. You just associate it with natural tobacco blends, most Gawith, Lakeland, aromatic flakes and things like that. They're just Virginia Burley mixtures. The only thing it's lacking to really taste like it's come from Gawith is there isn't the lingering taste of smoke there. But yeah, so in a cigarette, on its own, it's a bit. It's a little bit dull. Needs Virginia, needs a bit of brightness to it, needs a little bit more. But now, if you're into rolling, making roll-ups, and you want to make your own blend, Virginia and Burley, perfect. If you want it nice and mild, stick with all air cured. If you want to add a bit of power to it, stick a bit of fire cured Burley or a bit of flue cured Virginia in there. Really give it some strength. But no, it's a lot nicer in a pipe than what it is in a cigarette. A lot of you out there on fans of cigarettes anyway, but I personally am. So right, I'm going to stop this out now. I've got enough of an impression. Getting cold, it's that time of year, and I'm smoking a lot this morning, so do not need more on my chest. So yeah, I'll be back very, very soon. Like I say, I'll be back later with the Kentucky video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you in the future.